Russia-Ukraine war. Russia blames Ukraine for attack on Crimea bridge, halts grain export deal. Russia has accused Ukraine of attacking a key bridge in Crimea, the peninsula it annexed in 2014. The bridge is a vital link for Russian military supplies and trade. Russia has also announced that it is halting a grain export deal with Ukraine, blaming Kyiv for the blockade of its Black Sea ports. BBC News. Heat wave bakes southern Europe, sparking warnings to stay inside, drink water and limit exercise. A heat wave is currently scorching southern Europe, with temperatures in some areas reaching as high as 45 degrees Celsius (113 degrees Fahrenheit). The heat wave has prompted authorities to issue warnings to stay inside, drink plenty of water, and limit exercise. The Guardian. China reports record temperature for mid-July at 52.2 degrees Celsius. China has reported a record temperature for mid-July, with the mercury reaching 52.2 degrees Celsius (126 degrees Fahrenheit) in the city of Huainan in Shaanxi province. The previous record was 51.6 degrees Celsius (124.9 degrees Fahrenheit) set in 1951. CNN. Second Alzheimer's drug in the pipeline promises to slow worsening but with safety concern. A new drug that has shown promise in slowing the worsening of Alzheimer's disease has been approved for clinical trials in the United States. The drug, called BAN 2401, is a monoclonal antibody that targets a protein called amyloid beta. The New York Times. Israel's governing coalition presses ahead with plan to overhaul courts ahead of expected protests. Israel's governing coalition is pressing ahead with plans to overhaul the country's judicial system, despite widespread protests from legal professionals and opposition parties. The proposed reforms would give the government more control over the appointment of judges and the Supreme Court. The Times of Israel. Sunak increases regulation of underperforming universities. The UK government has announced plans to increase regulation of universities that are not meeting certain standards. The new measures would see universities that are failing to meet performance targets be placed in intensive support, or special measures. The Guardian. A 5-story apartment building collapses in Cairo and kills at least 9 people. A 5-story apartment building has collapsed in Cairo, Egypt, killing at least 9 people and injuring dozens more. The cause of the collapse is still under investigation, but it is believed that the building may have been structurally unsound. Al Jazeera. As the negotiation phase of Europe's AI Act begins, both questions and praise pour in. The negotiation phase of Europe's Artificial Intelligence Act (IA) has begun, with both questions and praise being voiced about the proposed legislation. The IA is a landmark piece of legislation that aims to regulate the development and use of AI in the EU. Euractiv. Climate activists deface Walmart heiress 30 crore rupees yacht in mark of protest against climate change. Climate activists in Spain have defaced a superyacht owned by the Walmart heiress Nancy Walton Lori in a mark of protest against climate change. The activists boarded the yacht, which is worth an estimated $30 million, and sprayed it with slogans calling for action on climate change. The Indian Express. Singapore Parliament Speaker, MP resign over affair. Singapore's Parliament Speaker, Tan Chuan Jin, has resigned after admitting to an extramarital affair. Tan is the first Speaker of Singapore's Parliament to resign. The Straits Times.